Good morning, guys. Today we are going to have another class of math, and today we will learn a new topic. But before starting, I invite you to close your eyes, bow your heads, and let's pray. Dear Jesus in heaven, thank you again for another new day of life. Thank you because so far you have taken care of us, you have protected us, and we have all what we need. We ask you to provide food, to provide medicines for people who need these things, and help us to trust in you. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Before starting our class today, I want you to see a video. It's a song, and I want you to pay attention to what the song says. It's very beautiful, and try to learn it because it's going to be useful for the topic that we are going to see today in math.
Did you know that time has different parts, just like our body? "60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, and 24 hours make a day. 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, and 24 hours make a day. 365 days or 12 months in a row, that is how you make up a year. 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, and 24 hours make a day." "7 days in a week, 30 days in a month. Some months have 28 or 31. 7 days in a week, 30 days in a month. Some months have 28 or 31. 365 days or 12 months in a row, that is how you make up a year. 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, and 24 hours make a day. "60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, and 24 hours make a day. 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, and 24 hours make a day. 365 days or 12 months in a row, that is how you make up a year. 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, and 24 hours make a day."
Okay, guys, did you like the video? Did you like the song? It was talking about what? About time. Excellent. About time. How many hours do we have in a day? How many days do we have in a week? And so on. So, guys, I have another trivia for you. Today is Tuesday, April 14th, 2020. And before starting our topic, I want you to challenge. I want you to make a challenge. Today is a special day, April 14. I want you to find out what are we celebrating today. It's a special day, so I want you to investigate to find out what day is April, or what do we celebrate in April 14. And what you are going to do is you are going to record yourself. You are going to send me an audio by WhatsApp telling me, "Miss, today April 14 is the day of," and you have to tell me what day is today, and you have to explain me a little bit about that. And you are going to have bonus points, but in social studies. You are going to have bonus points in social studies. Okay? So do that, but at the end of the class. So the topic that we are going to learn today is units of time. And our topic is in page 107. So I want you to take your notebook and your book of math and open your book in page 107. Okay? So guys, we are going to read the problem. I need you to be in page 107 and let's read together what the problem says. 30 days have September, April, June, and November. All others have 31 days except February, which has 28, or 29 in a leap year. How many minutes were in February during the leap year of 2004? Okay, first let me explain you that a leap year is what we call in Spanish año bisiesto. You know that February generally has 28 days, right? But in a leap year, February is going to have 29 days, okay? So, in the problem, we could read that months like September, let me see where September is. September has how many days? 30 days. April has 30 days. June and November, they have 30 days. The other ones have 31. Look, December, look, August, July, May, January, March, and October. All those have 31 days, except February that has 28 and 29 when the year is a leap year or año bisiesto in Spanish. So, the problem says that we have to find how many minutes were in February. We are looking for the minutes in the month of February in 2004, in this year 2004, that was a leap year. That means that February in 2004 had how many days? 28 or 29? It had 29 days. Okay? So, right now we are going to answer the information sentences. Answering the information sentences are important because are the sentences or the information that are going to help us to solve the problem. So let's continue reading. We are looking for the number of minutes in February 2004. So the first sentence, information sentence that you have to complete says, there were space days in February 2004. How many days were in February 2004? If it said that it was a leap year, and we know that a leap year, 2004 was a leap year, that means that February had how many days? 28 or 29? Excellent, 29. Okay, so we are going to answer, there were 29 days in February 2004. Let's continue with the other sentence. There are how many hours in a day? One day has how many hours? Excellent, 24 hours. So we are going to answer there are 24 hours in a day and how many minutes in an hour? 1 hour has how many minutes? Excellent, 60 minutes. Now that we already have our sentences complete, let's continue reading. It says, to find the number of minutes in this month, in February, we have to what? Excellent, we have to multiply what? The number of days in February. That means that we have to multiply how many days do we have in February 2004? 29. So that means that we have to multiply 29 times what? It says the number of days in February by the number of hours in a day. So how many hours do we have in a day? 24. So we have to multiply 29 times 24. And also it says, and the result of that, we have to multiply it by the number of minutes in 1 hour. So in here we have that in 1 hour we have 60 minutes. That means that we have to multiply how many days do we have in February? 29 by how many hours in a day? 24 by how many minutes in an hour? 60 minutes. Okay? Why do we have to do that? Let me explain you why. Okay, it says that we have to multiply 29 by 24 by 60. Why? Remember that we want to find minutes. That is the answer that we are looking for, minutes in February. Okay? How many minutes do we have in February? So, we already know that these ones are what? Melones and días? These ones are days, okay? Knowing that February has 29 days, so it's easy for us to say, okay, if February has 29 days, we are going to find first how many hours the month of February has. So we already know that one day has 24 hours. And if we multiply the 29 days by the 24 hours, what we are going to have at the end are the amount of hours in February, the total amount of hours in February. Now that we have the total amount of hours, we are going to change those hours to, what are these ones? To minutes. So we have to multiply this amount of hours times the 60 minutes that we have in 1 hour. And maybe you are asking, but why do we have to multiply? So I will give you a rule that you have to follow always that you want to change from one unit to the other one. Like when we are changing from lempiras to dollars or from dollars to lempiras. Have you ever experienced that, for example, one of your relatives come from United States and they give you $10 and you say, okay, but how much $10 is in lempiras? So you have to change that into lempiras. So something like that is what we are doing right now with the days. We are changing the 29 days first into hours. How many hours in total the 29 days represent? Then we are changing those hours into minutes. Okay? We are changing the units. So let's do this multiplication by parts. First, we are going to multiply 29 by 24. Okay? And let's do it that. Remember that here we are multiplying 29 days by 24 hours that we have in one day. Okay? Why? Because we are changing right now in this first step, we are changing from days to hours. The result that we are going to have in here, the result that we are going to have here, it's going to be hours. So let's multiply. 4 times 9, 36. 6 in here and 3 here. 4 times 2, 8 plus 3, 11, okay? Now we are going to multiply number 2 by 9 and by 2. Remember that we add a 0 or leave a space and then we start multiplying. 2 times 9, 18, 8 in here and 1 in here. 2 times 2, 4 plus 1, 5. And then we have to add this. 6 and 0, 6. 1 and 8, 9. And 1 and 5, 6. Remember that I told you that in here we are changing days to hours, okay? Because these ones are days and we are changing these days to hours. So this one that we have in here are the total amount of hours that we have in the month of February. We have 696 hours in February when February has 29 days. So these ones are the total amount of hours. Now guys, you already know how many hours do we have in February. Now what you have to do is to change this amount of hours, 696 hours, you have to change them into minutes because the problem said that you have to find minutes. So you have to change hours into minutes. And we already know that 1 hour has 60 minutes. That's why in here says that we have to multiply also by 60. So that means that now we are going to multiply 696 hours that February has times 60 minutes that 1 hour has. In this case, we are changing hours to minutes, okay? And let's do it. Remember that in here we have a 0. So when we have a 0, the only thing that we have to do is to bring down that 0 here, and now we continue with number 6, multiplying number 6. So let's do the multiplication of 6. 6 times 6, 36. 6 in here and 3 here. 6 times 9, 54, excellent, plus 3, 57, 7 in here and 5 here. And 6 times 6, 36, plus 5, 41. Okay, so that means, let's write the comma here, that means that these ones are melones and días or what? These ones are minutes. Okay, so here we have our answer. We have 41,760 minutes in 1 month of February, or in the month of February when February has 29 days. So let's answer the the last sentence that says, there were 41,760 minutes in February 2004. Don't worry if you do not understand too much right now. We are going to do some exercises together. We are going to do it. I will explain you in the video, but pay attention. Here we have some units of time that you have to know. It's better if you learn it by memory. So, for example, in here we have that 1 minute has how many seconds? 60 seconds. Excellent. And 1 hour has how many minutes? 60 minutes. And 1 day, how many hours? 24 hours, okay? And in 1 week, how many days do we have? 7 days, okay? From Sunday to Saturday, 7 days. Now, how many weeks do you have in 1 year? How many weeks? Here you have it. In 1 year, we have 52 weeks. And also in 1 year, we have 12 months. So if you say 1 year has 52 weeks, it's the same of saying that 1 year has 12 months from January to December. Or it's the same if you say 1 year has how many days in total? 365 days, except every 4 years that we have a leap year. That year we do not have 365 days. That in one when the year is leap, we have how many days? 366. Why? Because in February we are going to have one more day, 29. And in 1 century, how many years do we have? 1 century is made up of 100 years. So you have to learn that. Keep in mind this little table, this little chart. You have this chart in your books in page 107. Page 107, I want you to highlight or write an arrow and write something like this, study, because this chart is something that you have to know very well. Why? Because we are going to need all these to solve the exercises that we are going to solve in page 107 and also in page 108. Okay, are you ready? Okay. So let me. When you are going to change from one unit to another one, you have to do 2 things. Sometimes you are going to multiply, Sometimes you are going to multiply, and other times you are going to divide. So here it's a question. When are you going to multiply or when are you going to divide? How do you know when to multiply or when to divide? Okay, let me tell you something. By here you have day and by here you have hour. Let me ask you something. What is larger, a day or 1 hour? What unit of time is larger than the other? Day or hour? Day, right? Day is larger than an hour. So we say that day is larger and the hour is smaller. Okay? Because 1 day has 24 hours. So a day is larger than 1 hour. Now by this side we have minute and we have hour. What is larger, the minute or the hour? The hour, right? So in this case, we have the larger unit here, and this one is the smaller unit. So listen carefully what I am going to say. When you are changing from larger units to smaller units, what you are going to do is to multiply. Okay? When you are changing from one unit that is larger than the other, what you have to do is to multiply. Okay? In this case, you are going to multiply by what? For example, if you are, let's say that you are changing 7 days into hours. So you have to multiply the 7 days by how many hours do we have in a day? By 60, okay? So you have to multiply 7 by 60. Now, when you have or you are changing from smaller units to larger units, you are going to, if in here we multiply, what we are going to do here? To divide. Excellent. We are going to divide because we are changing from smaller to larger. A minute is smaller than an hour. So in here, for example, if we have 7 minutes, or let's say 70 minutes. If we have 70 minutes, how many hours do we have in 70 minutes? So that means that we have to divide these 70 minutes by how many, in 1 hour, how many minutes do we have? 60, right? So we are going to divide it by 60. Okay? You are going to understand better with the exercises. So, what about if we go to exercise number 1? Okay, guys, please pay close attention to the explanation that I'm going to give right now. In number 1, let's read the directions first. Number 1 says, use the table of time, that is this one, the table of time, equivalents to complete each statement. Number 1 says, 5 weeks equals how many days? In 5 weeks, how many days do we have? We already know that 1 week has how many days? 7 days. But in 5 weeks? Okay, I want you to look at your chart in your books. This chart is the same that you have in your books. And we have to find weeks. We have to find weeks and days. And in here we have it. Look, 1 week has how many days? 7 days. Okay? So this is the formula that we are going to use. 1 week, 7 days. Now, tell me, which one is larger? Weeks or days? Weeks is larger than days, or days is larger than weeks? Okay, so we have that a week is larger than days. So if weeks are larger, days are smaller. So we are changing from larger units to smaller units. So you have to multiply or divide. Let's look at this chart, yellow chart that you have in there. From larger to smaller, we multiply or divide? We multiply. So in exercise number 1, we have to multiply. And what do we have to multiply? We have to multiply the 5 weeks that we have in here times how many days do we have in a week? 7, right? Times 7 days. And in that way, we are changing from weeks to days, and what we have in the result is going to be the days. So 5 times 7 or 7 times 5? 35. So the answer is 35 days in 5 weeks. Okay? Did you understand number 1? Remember, first you have to see in the chart what is the formula, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, or these ones that you are going to use. In this case, we were talking about weeks and about days. So this one was the one that we were using. Then you have to see which one is the larger unit and which one is the smaller unit. And then you have to see if you have to multiply or divide. And then you find the answer. So let's continue with exercise. In exercise number 2 says that you have to change 5 hours and 15 minutes into minutes. So you are going to change all these one into minutes. But let me tell you something, or let me ask you something. First, you have to look at this. Here we have 5 hours. So we can change 5 hours to minutes. But in here, we already have 15 minutes. So 15 minutes are 15 minutes. You cannot say that you are going to change 15 minutes into minutes. So in this case, it means that the only thing that you are going to change is the 5 hours, and then you are going to add these minutes. Okay? So, let me ask you something. Here we are talking about hours and minutes. Let's go to our chart and let's find a formula that talks about hours and minutes. Which one is? The second, right? 1 hour has 60 minutes. So this one is the one that is going to be useful for us. So we are going to use this one. Sorry. We are going to use this one. So keep in mind that 1 hour has 60 minutes. Now tell me, which one is larger, hours or minutes? Hours, right? So hours are larger and minutes are smaller. So in here we are changing from a larger unit to a smaller unit. So you have to multiply or to divide. You have to multiply. Okay, so what you are going to multiply? The 5 hours that you have in here, these 5 hours, you have to multiply them by how many minutes do you have in 1 hour? 60 minutes. So you are going to multiply that by 60 minutes. So you are changing hours to minutes. Remember that in here we have a 0, so we only add the 0 down, and then we multiply 6 times 5, 30. So in here 300 are sandías, melones, naranjas, minutes, right? They are minutes. So do we have the answer in here? And we are going to write 300 minutes in here, or something is missing? Ah, okay, looking here. Let me erase this. Let me erase this. Remember that in here, these 300 minutes are only the minutes that we have in 5 hours. But here the exercise says that in 5 hours we have 300 minutes. But in here we have another minutes, 15 minutes. So these 300 minutes plus these minutes that we have in here, how many minutes in total? So that means that we have to add in here 300 plus these 15 minutes, and we are going to find 300 to have 350 minutes in total. Okay? So we have 350 minutes in 5 hours and 15 minutes. Did you understand? Okay, if not, try to play the video again and try to watch the video as many times as you need for you to understand the exercises. So let's continue to exercise number 3 and 4. Those number 3 and 4 are very, very easy. Easy. In number 3, the direction says complete each sentence. Number 3 says to change hours to minutes, what do we have to do? To multiply or to divide? Multiply? Divide? Okay, remember that first we have to see if hours is larger and minutes is smaller or what. So hours is larger or smaller than minutes? Larger, right? And minutes is smaller. So in here we are changing from larger to smaller. So from larger to smaller we multiply. So what you are going to write in here is we multiply by 60. Now let's do number 4. So number 4 says to change hours to days, what do you have to do? Multiply or divide by 24? Okay, let's see. Hours is larger or smaller than days? Smaller, right? And days is larger. So from smaller to larger, you have to divide. So what you have to write in here is divide by 24. And why by 24? Because in here says that one day has 24 hours, and we are talking about days and hours in here. Do you understand? Okay, easy, right? So now guys, you have to solve from the other page, page 108, exercises from 1 to 10 and 1 problem solving. But let's go to page 108 because I'm going to explain you 2 more exercises for you to understand better, okay? Okay, now we are in page 108 and I will help you with exercise number 1. Exercise number 1 says, use the table of time equivalents to complete each statement. 6 years, so number 1, 6 years equals how many weeks? Okay, the first thing that we have to see is in our table here, we are talking about years and weeks. Which one in here talks about years and weeks? This one, right? 1 year has 22 weeks. So the one that we are going to use is this one. 1 year, 52 weeks, sorry. 1 year, 52 weeks. But in here we have 6 years. How many weeks? So now what we have to do is to see which one is larger and which one is smaller. What is larger, years or weeks? Years, right? Years is larger and weeks is smaller. So you are changing from larger to smaller. So when you are changing from larger to smaller, you are going to what? Divide or multiply? You have to multiply, okay? And now you already know that you have to multiply. What do you have to multiply? 6 years by, here we have the formula. How many weeks in 1 year? 52, right? 52 weeks. So we are changing from years to weeks, and what we are going to have in the result are weeks. 2 times 6, 12. Okay, now we leave a space and we continue multiplying with 5. 5 times 6, 30. And then we add 2 plus 0, 2, 1 plus 0, 1, and 3 alone. So that means that in 6 years, these ones are what? Weeks. In 6 years, we have 312 weeks. Excellent. So now you have to solve from 2 to 9. I already helped you with 1. So guys, here you have the activity that you have to do. Math page 108, exercises from 1 to 10 and 1 problem solving. Guys, you need this chart for you to be able to solve the exercises. Where do you have this chart? In page 107 is this chart. And also you need to know this, that when you are changing from larger to smaller, you have to multiply. From smaller to larger, you have to divide. This one, you don't have it in your books, so better for you to copy this in your books, so you can know if you have to multiply or divide in the exercises. Okay, hope you understood the topic, and I will be waiting for the homework by WhatsApp. Bye, blessings.